Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. I think it's very difficult for anyone to continue after Raza Rabbani Sahab has spoken. He's so articulate, so eloquent with his ideas. It's more like storytelling. So it's always a pleasure listening to him, learning from him. Let me start off by saying I've taken a different trajectory in politics. Usually, people start off with the local government system and then they go towards the provincial, national level. I started off with the provincial, national level, and then I've come to the local government system, which is a big challenge for me because working at the level of the federation, working at the level of the provinces, the powers, the authority is accepted. You don't need to fight for your turf. While the system of governance, which is local government, is still at a evolutionary stage. It's at a nascent stage. We're still trying to fathom what Article 140A is that was inserted by way of the 18th Amendment. We've had some judicial interventions with regards to the interpretation of 140A, but interestingly, those interventions have not made it more clear. The confusion has only increased even after the judicial interventions. So it's a challenge. But I tell you, having served in the local government system for the last 10 months, I understand the importance of what local government is, the potential that the local government has to deliver at the doorsteps of the people. So when Raza Rabbani Sahab speaks of devolution, when he speaks of the 18th Amendment, when he tries to protect what was done by way of the 18th Amendment, I understand what he's saying because through his practice in the parliament, he's learned that sitting in Islamabad, you can't understand what's happening in Dera Murad Jamali. Sitting in Islamabad at Pakistan Secretariat, you can't understand what is happening in Lalu Khet. Sitting in Islamabad, you can't understand what is happening in Rahim Yar Khan. That knowledge lies with the people who are in that area. Now, for example, the reason why I gave you the example of me from provincial or federal level coming down to the local government system, I'll tell you why it's so important. When I was a provincial minister, maximum the number of people that I used to meet, I have honorable MPs here, MNAs here, were 40, 50 people who would come to my office, would meet me, share their problems. Members from the civil society would come to me and tell me that this is my problem. Madam Kirmani would come to me and tell me police is creating problems or the civil administration is creating problems. We need your indulgence. Sitting in the mayor's office, I have at least 500, 600 people coming to me every day with the expectation that my sewerage issue is going to be resolved. My sanitation issue is going to be resolved. My water issue is going to be resolved. Street lights, the basic amenities, these issues will be addressed. The direct people-to-people contact that is available by way of the local government system, I think is immense. And for a city like Karachi, instead of being ruled, let's say, by 22 elected MNAs, or let's say 43 elected MPAs, or some on indirect reserve seats, Karachi right now has 246 union committees which are directly elected by the local residents. And those local representatives, because I also got elected from that local council, the sharam that we have in our eyes because, we went to their doorsteps to get their votes. And when they come to me, raising their issues that, I have this issue, I need your intervention, I need your help. The accessibility is a lot more that exists and it's a lot more effective. And there I feel that the local government system has more potential to perform. We have this very common debate. What should be the local government system? Should there be a system like the system of Nematullah Sahab or Mustafa Kamal Sahab, which was absolute power, They were omnipotent at that point of time. Naveed Anthony is Deputy Speaker of the Citizen Assembly. He was, I think, part of the local government system in 2005. There were no checks and balances. If the mayor decides, if the local council today decides that a particular road of Karachi is going to be commercialized, it will be commercialized, no matter how much Ambar Ali Bhai protests. No matter how much Sherry says that this is not right, our system cannot take this impact. But the city council has decided. That's it. The decision has been made. And the courts also, took their hands off. They went to court, they said, this commercialization is incorrect. The court said, no, the city council has decided. It's their domain. The decision has been made. We will not intervene. Commercialization is valid. That was the sort of power that they had. And right now, in 2024, when I am the mayor, I feel that whatever law I pass or get approved from the local council, I'm not sure whether it will survive or not. Whatever decision I make as the mayor of Karachi, I'm not too sure whether it will survive or not. Why? Because in this city, somebody will just go to court, challenge that action which has been legitimately, legally, lawfully passed by the council, and the courts will grant an interim order. So, from a system of absolute power, Raza Sahab was talking about how the civilian supremacy is not there. I just feel there's complete annihilation. That the people who are supposed to perform the obligation, perform the duty which is enshrined in the Constitution, who are answerable to the people, who are accountable to the people, no matter how well-intentioned decision they take, there will be some person in the society who will not agree or who may not agree, will go to court, challenge it, get an interim order, and that's it, we're gone. I don't have a tenure of 40 years. My term is 4 years. 1 year has passed. I'm fighting with the courts constantly. I start my day with a schedule thinking that, these are the number of people that I'll meet. 9:30 the court starts, 9:35 I get a message, I've been summoned before the court. I leave everything, I have to go to the court. I'm having a meeting with my officer. The officer just tells me, sir, I've been called by the court. So, I feel, back in 1947, sir, we were at a roundabout and a stay order was passed. And we are at a roundabout. The players change. It can be me, Raza Sahab, anyone, right? But as a nation, we are at that roundabout. And we are going round and round. We're not moving forward. We might think we're moving forward, but we're not. And we need to understand that if we are to move forward, we need to trust ourselves. And that is what democracy is. We need to trust ourselves that we've elected these people. This person has come, taken the oath. He is responsible for this parliament, this assembly, this council is responsible for the next 4 years, 5 years. Let them decide. They make good decisions, we will bear the dividends. They make bad decisions, we will vote them out. But these interferences, these interventions will not help us. And they have not helped us. It's been 75 years, we're stuck. But I still have hope. Raza Sahab, with great respect, you were giving, it was a gloomy picture. I feel, with the advancement of media, social media, people's exposure is now changing. People's capacity to understand is changing. And though as a nation, if we go back, we were driven by rhetoric. We are still influenced by rhetoric, but I still feel that somewhere or the other, facts are now coming in. People now realize who's effective, who's not effective, who's efficient, who's not inefficient. They realize that the holy cows are not so holy. And when we talk about holy cows, we just focus on X, Y, and Z only. I think there are too many holy cows in our society. We need to now start questioning them, right? We question the politician. You know, in a society like ours, you know, politicians are unfortunately not accepted. And that's where the problem is. A division has been created between the society and the politician. Assumptions and presumptions have been created, which has led to this indifference. I feel with the advancement of media, with people getting to know what's happening, these sort of events taking place where people express themselves, with town hall meetings taking place, with courts being more than active, people are getting to know the real facts. I think, and this is where the opportunity is. We need to protect the right people, we need to encourage the right people, and we need to fade the wrong ones out. And that's what evolution is all about. Unfortunately, in 75 years, if we had moved in a certain direction instead of going round and round, we would have been able to achieve all of that. But we didn't do it. But now is the time where I feel more and more educated people feel that we need to be involved with the political process. We need to hold our decision makers, and decision makers are just not politicians, just not bureaucrats. You know, Raza Saab's favorite word is civil military leadership, right? In that civil leadership, I think the only institution which is making decisions are the judges. And he, as a senior parliamentarian, cannot hold them accountable. I, the local government representative, cannot hold them accountable. The opposition leader of Sindh Assembly, the deputy speaker of Sindh Assembly cannot hold them accountable. Khurshid Saab, as a lawyer, cannot hold them accountable. And they have absolute power at their hands. So if the submission that I want to make is that if we are to come out of this predicament, which is self-created, we are the authors of our own misfortune here. We have encouraged the wrong sort of people to create this situation. We should today decide that the way forward is democracy. The way forward in terms of policy making are not the courts, is the parliament, it is the legislature. And in terms of development, in terms of solving your day-to-day issues, it is the local government system that will serve you. If we agree on these three principles and let the system function, I have great hope, I have tremendous hope that we will be able to come out of this predicament. But if we are to question the system right after the decision has been made, without understanding what is the impact of that decision, whether it's a good decision, whether it's a bad decision, we will not be able to move forward. I am all for accountability. Whether it is the local council leadership, whether it is the provincial leadership, whether it's the national leadership. But accountability needs to have a process. We might have, there are different political parties sitting here. There's a reason why we are different political parties. We're not coalition partners. We're different. Our ideologies are different. Our mindset is different. They will not necessarily agree with my policy. They will not necessarily agree with what Raza Saab might pass as an order or as Chairman Senate. But if they are to stop the process prematurely, we will not be able to move forward. Last but not the least, the importance of the local government system I've already highlighted. I absolutely agree this is the way forward. The issue with our local government system is that never, when we talk about empowerment, we've never focused on the fiscal space that the local council needs to have. Whether it was the all-powerful local government system of 2001, where, as I said, the local councils all over Pakistan were, omnipotent. They never focused on ways and means to increase their revenue. They didn't focus on their own taxation system. They focused on the federation giving them money. They focused on the province giving them money, getting grants from federal institutions or some other institution, using that money to get development done. The moment that grant got exhausted, the system failed to function. And that happened all over Pakistan. I would leave the rostrum by leaving with two figures. On social media, we see things that in India, in Mumbai, they've developed this sea tunnel. And then naming and shaming starts here in Pakistan. That, look where Mumbai has reached and where we are. Or we give the example of Dubai developing. Or we give the example of, let's say, some European country. Mumbai municipality, total tax collection in terms of property tax, Raza Saab, is 22 billion Indian rupees. 22 billion Indian rupees, which is Pakistan's 55 billion. Mumbai municipality. The municipal tax that Mumbai collects annually is 19 billion Indian rupees, 50 billion Pakistani rupees. So the annual income from two heads that Mumbai municipality is collecting is 105 billion Pakistani rupees. When we talk about Karachi, the total property tax which is collected from the entire city is 1.6 billion rupees. 1.6 billion rupees. And the total municipal tax which is collected from the entire city of Karachi is 200 million. So you tell me, it's not a question of empowerment. The law is there. The obligation to pay tax is there. In law, Raza Saab, we were taught that every right has a corresponding duty. So it's my right as a citizen to get all the basic amenities. But as I talk about my rights, I must also focus on my duties towards the state. What we as citizens, unfortunately, and when we're talking about the local government system, we are scared of FBR, we will pay them the tax. We are scared of SRB, we will pay them the tax. Unfortunately, we're not scared of our local councils. And because we're not scared of them, we don't pay them the tax. So imagine if Karachi is a city, and we're right when we say that Karachi runs Pakistan, 60% of Pakistan's revenue is collected from Karachi. But imagine the city that runs Pakistan, why is it so that it does not run itself? And the reason is, then when we talk about those taxes are going to Islamabad. The income tax that I pay, that you pay, that all of us pay, the sales tax that we pay, that does not go to KMC. The revenue that the port generates, whether it's the Port Qasim Authority or the Karachi Port Trust, that revenue does not come to the local council, which is responsible to you. So, I want to leave this food for thought to the people that if these local councils are to perform, if we have great hopes and expectations from these local councils, then we also need to introspect. While local councils also need to introspect that where did they go wrong, where they need to improve themselves. Similarly, we as citizens also need to understand the obligation that we have towards the local councils. And the day this gap is bridged, the day this level of confidence and trust is created between the local councils and the citizens, that will be the day then that the basic issues will be not only resolved, but they will be resolved in a sustainable manner. Otherwise, the ad hocism will continue. Some powerful person will come, give the money, development takes place, the money goes away, the development fades away. So if we are to sustain the system, the local councils just do not need to be empowered in terms of the statute. Yes, they need to be empowered, but the power that they already have, they need to be secured, they need to be garnered, they need to be supported so that they're able to fulfill the commitments that are expected from them. So I hope that we should be able to bridge this mental difference that we have, and we're able to work together by way of this local government system to solve our problems. Thank you very much.